What is the most asked question of 2020? Let me take a guess. When will we have a vaccine? That's what everyone is asking almost all the time, because a vaccine appears to be our only exit strategy from this pandemic. A vaccine for the Wuhan virus. So where does the search for a vaccine stand? Who are the frontrunners? Who will get the vaccine first? How much will it cost? And who will profit from the world's desperation? 5 questions. 5 questions that we shall answer on Gravitas tonight. Our cover story is the most definitive account of the global hunt for the Wuhan virus vaccine. Let's begin with a status check. Question number 1, how close are we to a vaccine? This is a race against time. Research is happening at breakneck speed. 142 vaccine candidates, 142, are in early development. 35 are in clinical trials. Only 5 vaccines are one step away from approvals. And this brings us to our next question. Question number 2, who are the front runners, the companies that will make it first, most likely? Like I said, 5 vaccines are close to final approvals. They are in large-scale vaccine trials, meaning phase 3 of a clinical trial. Thousands of volunteers are being given these shots to test whether they work or not. I have a list. The first and the most promising candidate is the University of Oxford vaccine. It is made from a genetically engineered virus that causes the common cold in chimpanzees. Trials for this vaccine are underway in the United Kingdom as well as South Africa and Brazil. Candidate number 2, this one is from Australia. The University of Melbourne and the Murdoch Children's Research Institute are driving this. Reports say this vaccine does not directly protect against the Wuhan virus, but it might boost the body's non-specific immune response. These are 2. The next 3 candidates in the top 5 are from China. Beijing claims that they are in advanced stages of clinical trials, but there's no way to confirm the actual status of these projects or whether the vaccines actually work or not. Nevertheless, I'll give you the list. Chinese company Sinovac is developing a vaccine. It is based on inactive COVID-19 particles. This vaccine is now moving into large-scale trials in Brazil. The Wuhan Institute of Biological Products and the Beijing Institute of Biological Products are developing vaccines too. Like I said, no one really knows what China is up to. But Xi Jinping sees the hunt for the vaccine as a race. He wants China to win this race. A vaccine may help China wash its sins with the cover-up. Plus, it stands to make a lot of money. To be fair, China is not the only country in this race. Every major country in the world is running vaccine trials right now. They're locking up future supplies as well. We've been reporting about this, how leading countries are striking deals for first access to vaccine supplies. And that brings us to question number 3. Who will get the vaccine first? The developed world could be the first to get a vaccine thanks to the advanced orders that they have placed. They have pre-ordered potential vaccines. You could say this is a parallel race, the race to lock up supplies. Here are the countries involved in this one. The United States, perhaps the biggest hoarder of potential vaccines. It has invested $1 billion each in 5 different projects. Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, Novavax and Pfizer, 5. They have all received money from the US government either in the form of funding or in advance deals. What do they have to do in return? They have to supply anywhere between 100 to 400 million doses to America first. And that's for each company, 1 to 400. The European Union is next. They plan to secure 100 to 400 million doses too. One pre-order reportedly of around 400 million doses of vaccines has already been made. The EU is talking with 3 other companies. Reports say it has set aside close to $3 billion for vaccine supplies. The United Kingdom is also hoarding. It has signed, and listen to this, 4 deals already for a potential 250 million doses. The population of the UK is a little more than 60 million. They have booked 250 million doses, 4 times what they actually need. And the budget for these pre-orders, close to $1 billion. Japan is next on our list. It is talking with 2 companies. It could strike a deal soon. So make no mistake, the rich countries will get the bulk of vaccine supplies whenever a vaccine is ready. What will they do with so many doses? Donate, perhaps sell? They get to decide. US President Donald Trump is confident that America will be in a position to supply to the whole world.
We're mass producing all of the most promising vaccine candidates in advance so that on the day one that it's approved, it'll be available to the American people immediately, and we'll probably have a lot for a lot of other people throughout the world. The world is suffering from this China virus.
China virus, he says. What if Donald Trump decides to sell the vaccine? America and its pharma companies stand to make a lot of money. How much? How much will a vaccine cost? Let me give you a breakdown of the cost. For now, we have 2 estimates. Pfizer recently struck a deal with the US government, $2 billion for 600 doses. The price of 1 dose was set at $20, around 1,500 Indian rupees. Moderna is another company that is ahead in this race. It could charge anywhere between $50 to $60 per dose. That's anywhere between 3,000 to 4,500 rupees for 1 dose of a vaccine. Can everyone afford it? Certainly not. But some pharma companies are already benefiting just by promising a vaccine or a cure that doesn't even exist yet. Look at their stock prices. I told you about the Pfizer deal with the US government. On the day that announcement was made, Pfizer's stock shot up by more than 5%. The share price of Moderna soared 18% after its vaccine made a breakthrough earlier this month. Now, there's no harm when stockholders make a profit in legitimate ways. But what happens when executives with insider information make bets and pocket billions in profit? This report came out earlier this month. Corporate insiders pocketed $1 billion in the Wuhan virus vaccine rush. Insiders from at least 11 companies are said to have sold shares worth well over $1 billion since March. They sold the shares after positive announcements were made. And the prices of shares skyrocketed. It's not for nothing that we call this profit from pandemic. And all of this is happening in the developed countries like the US. Is there any hope for the developing world? Yes, there is. It is called India. Developing countries are looking at India, and here's why. India produces the bulk of the world's vaccines. Indian producers are trying to come up with their own vaccine for the Wuhan virus too. At least 2 players are being closely watched. The Serum Institute of India, that is producing the Oxford vaccine, the frontrunner I told you about, and Bharat Biotech, that is making Covaxin, a vaccine candidate which is backed by the government of India. India's know-how in the vaccine space could give the world more affordable alternatives. And on a large scale, India's record speaks for it. India is the world's largest producer of vaccines. It accounts for 70% of the vaccines used the world over. You could say every child in the world is given a vaccine made in India. The Wuhan virus vaccine should be no exception.